Hi, this is my review of the Terminator RPG Quickstart. I am going to be reviewing all of the Terminator RPG books that have come out so far. And we start with this Quickstart. At the time of this review, this PDF is available as a pay what you want PDF, so make sure that you download it right away. It contains the basic rules for the Terminator RPG, just a small glimpse of the entire system. It also includes pre-generated characters and a complete scenario. Let's talk about the quality of the PDF. The quality is great. Everything is well organized, written and explained. Although I think a few more commas should have been used in the paragraphs. The document is bookmarked, so it's going to be very easy for you to navigate the entire PDF. The illustrations are amazing. They are comic book type of illustrations because this role-playing game is based on the situations that you would see in the Terminator films and in the comic books. The graphic design is also good. It is somewhat simple, but I really like the futuristic metallic sheen look of it. So overall the quality is great. Now let's take a look at the contents. When it comes to the system itself, I am going to give you a brief overview. We will get really into detail. We're going to take a pretty deep dive when I review the complete core rulebook in a future installment. But in the meantime, this is just to give you a general idea. The quick start begins with basic information on what a role-playing game is, about the Terminator RPG. Of course, many of you are already familiar with the franchise, the heroic and desperate struggle of mankind trying to survive against the autonomous network known as Skynet. To play this game, you need a handful of 10-sided dice. It is recommended that each player should have access to 6 10-sided dice, and one of them should be of a different color because it's going to be the success die. This rule set is basically the same as the one used in SLA Industries 2nd edition. However, it has been modified to address the thematic demands of the Terminator sci-fi setting. If you haven't seen my review of the SLA Industries 2nd edition RPG, please check out the playlist in the description below. Going back to this Terminator RPG, each character is composed of stats, that is strength, dexterity, knowledge, concentration, charisma, cool and fate. Most of the stats are pretty self-explanatory, but cool represents a character's willpower and ability to resist the effects of fear, and fate represents a measure of just how lucky a character is and how likely great things are to happen to that character or around that character. Concerning skills, you have skill ranks. All of these different skills are tied to different attributes. For example, the skill of support weapons and the skill of melee weapons is related to strength, but when it comes to computer, education, forensics, it's related to knowledge. Now this applies to the dice that you will be rolling because you only have one success die, the only die that counts to meet a certain target number, to roll equal to it or surpass it. But the other dice are there to represent degrees of success and even failure. These skill ranks are equal to the number of dice that you will roll. So if you have a skill rank of 2, you're going to be rolling 2 dice plus 1. That's part of the rule system, it's always plus 1. If you have, let's say, a rank of 3 in any skill in forensics, when making any forensics related test, you're going to be rolling your success die plus 3 dice because of your rank 3 in forensics plus 1, for a total of 5 dice. There is also a skill bonus that results from adding your attribute plus your skill. So if you have strength of 2 with endurance of 2, it's going to be a total of 4. You're going to be adding a plus 4 to each of the dice that you roll. So the dice are not added together. If you have a target number of 8, then each die that rolls 8 or above is going to count as a success. To pass the test, you only need to roll the success die equal to that target number or above, but the individual dice that roll equal to or above that target number are also going to be counted as successes. Putting that aside for a bit, you also have traits. The Game Master can use these traits to present some unfavorable or challenging situations. Maybe your character is addicted to a substance, maybe your character is arrogant, or maybe your character has good hearing or good vision. In that case, it would work in your favor. This is just mentioned for purposes of using the pre-generated characters. This Quickstart doesn't have the character creation process. We will cover that in my review of the complete rulebook, of course. The more skill dice that result in successes, the greater and more beneficial results that you will obtain if the success die also rolled a success. But if all of your dice result in failure, then it's going to be a catastrophic failure, a serious failure, and this is going to affect you in all sorts of nasty ways. Luckily, you have fate. Characters can use the fate points to put the odds in their favor. Maybe you will use some of your fate points to reroll any or all of your skill dice, or maybe to add positive modifiers to your roll. We also have fear. Facing Skynet and its creations, either alone or in the name of humanity's survival, is a path filled with horror, dread, and extreme fear. As you encounter all sorts of technological aberrations and different situations that put your life and sanity at risk, then you will have to make fear tests. And if you fail, they are going to erode your willpower, to the point that it hampers or hinders different skill checks, as you become petrified, terrified, crippled from fear. You also need to take advantage of different moments of respite, of gestures of kindness when it comes to working with other humans, being helped or saved, or perhaps assisted in some way. Different situations are going to restore your willpower. So take advantage of every moment of respite and every potential opportunity to interact in a positive way with other humans to restore this willpower. During combat, you determine initiative. Each round you have a chance to move or charge at an enemy, carrying out a hand-to-hand attack or a ranged action, perhaps doing some sort of auxiliary action such as reloading a weapon, using a medkit. There are different nuances and maneuvers in combat, such as taking cover, aiming, using specific gear, interacting with the environment. Damage will be mitigated by armor, but your hit points will go down. If you reach 0 hit points, you are dead. And if you take too much damage, you're going to be severely wounded. You could end up bleeding out or in a critical condition, and healing is not that easy. You need specialized treatments or medical kits. Your character could also end up subjected to different conditions, such as being intoxicated, poisoned, infected. However, there are hope points. Hope is the greatest strength of humanity. You can use these points to carry out amazing maneuvers, tactics, and actions. Maybe you wish to ignore the effects of pain or fear. Maybe you can inspire others into battle. Sometimes you can make impossible shots. You have a small menu detailing the things that you can do with these hope points. And of course, the complete rule set will probably have more options. Now, when it comes to hacking, it works as a minigame, as a subsystem within this RPG, and it works great when other actions are being carried out. Hacking is not going to interrupt the flow of combat. You could have a big battle scene as the hacker is trying to activate some sort of defense mechanism, or perhaps override some sort of mechanism to get through a door or through a section or whatever. So a sort of mini combat between the hacker and the defense system is going to occur. You have this little hacking battle map, so to speak. When hacking begins, you're going to be scanning for vulnerabilities. Then the network security is going to be aware of your presence. It's going to be a very personal fight between the hacker and the network security response. You are going to be moving your progress token within this small map as you thwart the actions of NetSec. This quick start contains a good list of weapons, gear, hardware, all sorts of things that you can use in the included adventure. There is also a section explaining how to run a Terminator RPG as a game director. And of course we have the scenario by the name of 2 Steps Back. I am going to avoid spoilers because I know that players are also going to be watching this video. So suffice to say, this scenario has really good pacing. There are moments of battles with the Terminators. You always feel as if the player characters are at a complete disadvantage. They have some information to scale the difficulty depending on the number of player characters, but it's truly going to be a challenge. It is quite possible to get a total party kill. There are also moments of interaction with other members of the Resistance, so like I said, I really like the pace between action, interaction, some passive moments, some moments where you simply can't catch your breath. Even though the members of the Resistance usually outnumber the Terminators, it always feels like they are quite unstoppable. This is not an over-the-top role-playing game. This is a role-playing game that gets very gritty, quite realistic despite those cinematic flourishes thanks to the hope points and the fate points as well. The situations in this scenario require a varied skill set or many different specializations, although you can finish it with a fewer number of player characters, that is, you do not need to use the entire roster. If you finish the scenario, the exit is going to be quite flashy one way or the other, and it's going to lead directly into the second part of this quick start that I will feature in my next video. And this concludes this review. What do I think of the Terminator Quick Start? I think this is a great quick start, and it's practically free. Of course you can support the publisher, but they are pretty much giving it away as a pay what you want PDF. So download it, try it out. If you want, you can support the publisher. It contains enough rules related information to give you a good idea of what this role-playing game is all about. However, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are many other things related to pretty much everything in the game. So I highly recommend that you download this quick start and that you play it right away. Thank you for watching this review. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that have been supporting the channel by sending drive-thru RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.